I extend a cordial greeting to you all. I am writing to express my interest in purchasing a painting. I am currently residing in a state of inebriation, and therefore unable to engage in the financial transactions that would facilitate the purchase of such an item. I recently observed that you had some empty canvases available for purchase. I am seeking to procure a painting from you that would serve as a gift for my wife. I have observed your style of painting and find it appealing. I am writing to inquire as to your willingness to accept this commission. I am contemplating offering this painting to you as a Christmas gift. I would be honored to have you as my subject for a painting. However, I am reserving those canvases for future projects, either for which I have a specific concept in mind or for which I have received a commission. Their gallery style and price point are currently beyond my means. I could, however, likely create a portrait for a relatively modest fee, provided that you supply the canvas. As you are my wife's close friend, I believe you should do so on a pro bono basis. My own costs are approaching $5, the cost of gifts for children is considerable, and the stress of parenting is significant. I am seeking assistance in this regard. I am willing to pay for childcare services, and you may even use the money to purchase the canvas. However, I have been advised by blank that I should pay for childcare and give the money to my wife as a gift. I am uncertain about the appropriate course of action. Is it appropriate to give you an art piece to give to your wife, or should I simply provide assistance in a time of need? You already have some clean canvases. I am unsure about the best way to proceed. The crucial point is that you have already purchased the items in question. By the time you are inspired to paint them, you may no longer be alive. I am joking, but you could even use us as an example and post it online. I believe you will receive sales as a result, and we can help each other in this way. Will you pay me for babysitting your 4 children this week? I do not view this as a fair deal and believe you are trying to take advantage of me. Your wife knows my current situation and I am sure she would understand. I am unable to dedicate more than 30 hours to this project and utilize materials that I am unable to replace at no cost. I must respectfully decline your proposal. I hope this is a jest. I implore you to reconsider. All artists require exposure, and this undertaking will not consume an inordinate amount of time. You are fortunate to have this opportunity. I would be honored to have one of your paintings on my wall. This is for my wife. I had assumed she was like your sister. Can you not simply make her a Christmas gift? I am unable to fulfill this request. I apologize for my indisposition. I believe the universe is punishing you for your greed is evident. I am not requesting that you spend money, as you already possess and used materials. It is unsurprising that your life is unsatisfactory, you exude a negative energy. I will no longer bring my children to your residence, as I do not wish for them to become associated with your negative influence. I wish you well. I apologize for my previous remarks. I did not consider their implications. I require your assistance with childcare today. My wife has informed me that our regular babysitter is unavailable. I am seeking immediate assistance. I am aware that this request may be inconvenient for you, but it is necessary. I must attend to business matters at the earliest convenience. I shall return at 10. I require assistance with a twin only, and they are currently asleep, so the task should be relatively straightforward. Did she not reply? Do you not have a babysitter because it seems that the universe is punishing you for being greedy and having a bad vibe? Hello? Is the laptop still available? Yes, so how much for it? About $899 with tax. Can I get it for $100? No, it is my own laptop. I purchased it for $1, the price was initially set at $400, but it was subsequently reduced to $899. It is unclear whether the individual viewing the ad had even seen it. It was made clear that the price was non-negotiable. Goodbye. Stop messaging me. Hello. I saw in your post that you are building a Christmas village for someone. I apologize for the delay in my response. I had assumed I would be able to get back to you in the morning, but I am currently working on a Christmas village for 2 people. I am sorry that I did not respond sooner. I would like to offer you one, if you are interested. I apologize for the lateness of the hour. It is currently 2 o'clock. It is 0 hours, and I have just risen with my 6-month-old child. The item is not new, but it is still in good condition. Could you please clarify the dimensions you had in mind? This particular item is 6 feet tall and has 6 shelves. That is an ideal size for my purposes. When might I expect delivery? I could have it completed by the end of next week. Before I begin construction, I require the cost of the materials. For a 6-foot item, the cost will be $110, with $50 required up front. I can provide you with my PayPal link, or we can arrange to meet this week. I must inquire about the pricing structure. I am not accustomed to charging such high fees. I am willing to provide a discount if it is feasible for you. I am not inclined to purchase the wood and other necessary materials and then provide my own labor in exchange for nothing. I believe that the price I have quoted is fair and reasonable. 2 other individuals have expressed interest in purchasing the product, so I am unsure if you still wish to proceed with the order. It is astonishing to me that you are charging people for stapling wood together. I must purchase the wood to construct the product, and I am not stapling it. If I were to do so, I would also need to purchase the staples. My father is capable of building this in a matter of hours, yet you are asking me to pay for the privilege of doing so. I am not willing to do so. I am genuinely interested in purchasing one, although I am uncertain why we are engaged in this discussion given that you will have one tomorrow after your father builds it. I apologize for my abruptness. I am disappointed by your response. I have invested significant time and resources into acquiring the necessary materials for the village setup. I have already incurred considerable expenses on these items. I am compelled to express my frustration. I will be leaving a scathing review on my personal page, as I do not have a business and am investing my personal time and resources in this endeavor for supplementary income. I appreciate your interest, but I must decline. I am astonished. I have been following this conversation since the first message, leaving reviews. You have been unwelcoming and uncooperative. I would be willing to pay $40 for your route. I am perplexed by your behavior. A month later, Opie receives another message from you. I am perplexed by your persistence. It is after Christmas. Perhaps we can work out a deal. You could build me one of those villages for $30. I will consider it. I will get back to you. I am interested. I think I would want it stained a blue color. That would match the Christmas theme. I will have to go with an F. I am not convinced. I appreciate your interest, but I must express my dismay at your proposition. It is, after all, the season of goodwill, and I had assumed that you would be more generous in your offer. I am not in a position to sell this item for a year, and I am therefore reluctant to accept your proposal. Furthermore, I would like to point out that I produce and sell a variety of other items. I have even had an order for this item already this year, and I am currently receiving further orders by word of mouth. I am therefore at a loss as to how I can accept your offer, which is not even sufficient to cover the cost of the wood. I have conducted an exhaustive search and I am firmly resolved to leave a review. It is a legal obligation to provide feedback. I am compelled to inquire as to whether you are indeed referring to me. Indeed, you are a vendor, and I am a purchaser who is entitled to inform others about your actions. In the words of it is evident that you are attempting to impose upon me, Lowell. You are the one who has been persistently requesting that I construct items for you without compensation. I will not comply with your demands. I am aware of your family, and I am certain that you will face consequences for your actions. Your behavior is not only inappropriate but also extremely rude. I am astonished by your audacity. I must inquire as to the rationale behind your decision to post this particular message. It appears to be a direct violation of the terms of service, which prohibit the use of the platform for the purpose of soliciting or offering illicit services. Furthermore, I am compelled to inform you that your actions are in clear violation of the law. You are currently under arrest for failing to disclose the appropriate procedure for leaving reviews of your business. The potential penalty for this infraction is a minimum of 10 years imprisonment. In light of these circumstances, I advise you to refrain from any further posts of this nature. Additionally, I request that you provide me with the specific details of your pricing structure. I am particularly interested in understanding your hourly rate and the manner in which you charge for your services. I must also clarify that I am not a tattoo artist. However, I am aware of two reputable establishments in this field, Ink Money and Big City in Idle Hands. Both of these shops employ talented artists and offer a diverse range of services. I advise you to consider exploring these options before proceeding with any further interactions. I am currently outside the United States, so there would be a wait. Could you perhaps offer me a discount? I am a single mother with limited financial resources. I am not concerned about the source of your income. However, I will inform everyone that you are unscrupulous. He posted this on Reddit, which is a popular social media platform. It would be advantageous to demonstrate to others the extent of your willingness to accept assistance. I am of the opinion that he would not object to searching for a free laptop at no cost. I am seeking a laptop that I can utilize for both my professional and personal activities. The dimensions of the laptop can be within the range of 11 to 15 inches. 6. The item must be delivered to my address, which will be provided if I accept your offer. I am willing to consider brands such as Microsoft, HP, Acer, Asus, Lenovo, and Apple. I require an AirPod Pro because I previously did not have the opportunity to obtain one. It is essential for me to be able to listen to music while I exercise. My previous headphones malfunctioned, and I lack the financial resources to purchase AirPods. Brownie Phase, I recommend that you simply purchase Amazon's wireless earbuds. I am the proprietor of a company that provides a range of wedding and event services, with a particular focus on photography and videography. Our portfolio also encompasses DJs, drone pilots, hair and makeup artists, and other professionals. Recently, I received an instant chat request from a prospective client on our website. She informed me that she and her fiancé were planning to visit our city in the near future. The client indicated that they were planning to visit South Africa in December and required the services of a wedding photographer and videographer. I forwarded our packages to them and subsequently received a call from the client's fiancé, who expressed a desire to speak with me. I informed him that I was available and provided him with my contact information. Several hours later, I received a call from the fiancé, who spoke with a heavy German accent. He began by expressing his gratitude and then proceeded to make several offers, which I ultimately rejected. He proceeds to extol the virtues of our work and service, which I find difficult to accept. However, I am also renowned for my inability to decline an offer. He ultimately proposes a reduction of approximately a third in the cost of the package, as well as a reduction in the number of hours and the removal of physical copies. Additionally, he offers us a gratuity of $500. I inquired as to why he could not simply include this in the initial quote. In response, he stated that it was a gentleman's agreement and that I should accept his unusual offer. I would be remiss if I did not emphasize that any overtime will not be compensated. Upon inquiring about the fee, he initially expressed approval. However, the event organizers requested 2 hours on Friday and 3 hours on Saturday. This necessitated the entire shift list for that weekend to be available, allowing qualified individuals to attend other events. I took photographs on my own for the Friday event and accompanied a videographer. It is noteworthy that the videographers were particularly amiable, particularly the groom. The duration was somewhat protracted. The photography session was relatively uneventful, consisting primarily of a group of people seated around a table. After an hour and a half, the groom informed us that we could conclude the session. I was unable to attend the second evening due to prior commitments. I had informed the clients of this from the outset, as I was not available on that particular evening. The photography and videography services had been secured from the previous night, and the videographer was particularly skilled. I informed them that they should remain until 9:45 to compensate for the 30 minutes that had been missed the previous night. My team does not possess their own equipment, consequently, I am responsible for the maintenance and return of all gear following each shoot. The locations of the weddings I was photographing were approximately 25 minutes away from my residence, while the wedding I was shooting was an hour's drive. Additionally, I was engaged in booking until 10 p.m. I returned to my residence at approximately 11 p.m. Upon observing that the two individuals in question had not yet returned, I noted that the remainder of my team had already arrived and returned their gear. However, there was still no indication of their whereabouts. Given that they were the closest to the location and were scheduled to finish their work before anyone else, I was concerned. I attempted to contact them via telephone, but received no response. Just before midnight, I proceeded to search for them in my vehicle. After driving for approximately 10 minutes, I encountered them in the opposite direction. I turned my vehicle around and returned home. Upon inquiring about their whereabouts, they informed me that they had remained at the location until 10 o'clock. Despite the fact that the bride had ordered an additional hour, the couple requested that they be allowed to pack up their belongings. They had explicitly stated that they would discuss this with me afterwards and that I could simply add it to their invoice. Furthermore, they instructed my videographer to perform tasks that were typically reserved for our most expensive package. More significantly, the couple became verbally abusive towards my photographer at the second event. They were also rude and disrespectful in general. I have a very low tolerance for rude people. The following afternoon, I received a missed call from the groom. He then sent me a voice note expressing his gratitude. I informed him that I would take care of my team and then added that they would be leaving the country in 7 days, so they would appreciate it if I could have their wedding photos and videos done before then. They also requested all the raw materials on a hard drive. He did not mention the overtime. I read this message and was somewhat taken aback, as our contract clearly stipulates that the waiting period for photos is 4 weeks and 8 weeks for video. His quotation also clearly stated that no physical copies would be provided. I texted him the next morning and informed him that it was not feasible for me to have everything done before January. I did, however, offer to provide the raw materials. Prior to their departure, I informed them that the photos and videos would be ready before they left the country. However, I also informed them that a hard drive would have to be added to the invoice, along with the overtime bill. In response, he requested a phone call to discuss the situation. I was aware of what was to come and dreaded that phone call. The phone call took place later that afternoon. The preceding account has been too lengthy, so I will omit much of it and instead focus on the sections that elicited the strongest emotional response. You have stated that the task cannot be completed before our departure. I am sorry to hear this, as our guests have been inquiring about the projected timeline for the photographic work. We are aware of their concerns and have attempted to reassure them. I am willing to provide the RAWs at no additional cost, but I must request that you procure an external drive. I currently have some in stock, but I am not willing to pay for a hard drive. You may, however, transfer the raw files to me via WeTransfer. I am unable to comply with this request because the total size of the files exceeds 100 gigabytes, which is impractical given the limitations of South African internet speeds. Approximately 2 years have elapsed. Do you believe that we require the raw materials? I am unsure. There was a lengthy and awkward pause. I am perplexed by the overtime bill, as you requested that my personnel remain for an additional hour. However, they only stayed 10 minutes longer, and we were owed 30 minutes from the previous night. I have accounted for the discrepancy. The account was contacted, and it was confirmed that the photographers had remained at the location for an additional hour. However, there was a discrepancy in the time stamps on the photographs, indicating that the first and last shots were taken at different times. The client requested that the photographs be sent to them, but this was not done. While the client had hired the photographers and the company, it was the client who had hired the photographers, not the company. Furthermore, on Friday, the client had stated that they enjoyed the service provided. Regarding the wedding that took place on Saturday, it was always evident that you were not the optimal choice for the job. However, we were not entirely satisfied with the individual who was ultimately hired. Could you please clarify why we were charged additional fees? Unfortunately, that is what we agreed upon, but you offered me a more competitive price for the overtime. I am offering you a more competitive price for the overtime. However, this is the best that can be offered in light of the fact that the agreed-upon gratuity was not provided. Therefore, the total amount is, in fact, minimal. What was the gentleman's agreement regarding gratuities? I am unaware of any such agreement. When will the photographs be provided? The remainder of the invoice must be paid. Firstly, in accordance with the terms of the agreement, the overtime must be included in the invoice, which must then be settled in full before any payment is made. The contract stipulates that no payment will be made until all invoices have been settled. However, there is no indication as to when the photos will be sent. It was assumed that they would be sent promptly, given that numerous individuals have provided positive feedback about the service. The service is satisfactory, but I am dissatisfied with this arrangement. You send us everything and we decide if we want to pay. I am unwilling to accept this. However, it is not feasible to expect me to trust you in this manner. We cannot trust each other. The simplest solution is that I fund your deposit and delete your wedding, and we can be done. I have heard sufficient evidence to conclude that I have offended you. However, I am not at fault, as you are simply wasting my time. I am therefore unwilling to continue doing favors for you. The only distinction between you and our other clients is that they paid the full price. I will therefore wait for the money to show up in my account and then start the editing process. The editing process and the lack of an offer of a more competitive price for the additional work completed resulted in a negative experience. The client subsequently paid the outstanding balance and requested the photos, which was an unreasonable expectation given the time frame. 3 days have elapsed without the requisite funds appearing in my account. If I were the photographer in question, I would have but a single word to say: delete. That was our agreement. If you wish to support my channel and this content, I ask that you click the like button, as it will assist my channel in growing within the YouTube algorithm.